What happens when a K-pop superstar and an R&B icon share the same stage, unannounced, under the same spotlight? The answer: an eruption. A storm of screams, fan edits, whispers of something more. Rosé and Bruno Mars didn't just perform in LA, they caused a shift. The night was already expected to be unforgettable. Rosé's Deadline World Tour had been selling out venues and winning hearts. But nobody could have predicted what happened on the second night in LA. Without a single word of warning, Bruno Mars appeared. No press release. No social media clue. Just him, walking onto that stage like it was always meant to happen. This was no casual guest appearance. Bruno Mars hadn't shown up to anyone's concert in nearly a decade, but for Rosé, he did. The song they performed was officially titled PT, but what played out on stage went far beyond a simple duet. Their body language, their synced rhythm, their lingering glances. It felt intimate, electric, like we were watching a love story unfold in real time. People in the crowd cried. Others screamed so loudly parts of the performance were drowned out. But the moment didn't end with the music. That was just the beginning. Backstage footage surfaced only hours later. Rosé and Bruno, offstage and off-script, sharing laughs, teasing each other. Bruno tossed out a nickname, Hunkorama, and Rosé's laughter wasn't just polite. It felt like an inside joke, like something she'd heard before, maybe more than once. Things escalated when Bruno's sister Tiara dropped a comment under Rosé's backstage photo. Hunkorama incoming. Fans lost it, but then Bruno himself chimed in with a cryptic follow-up. Hunoama bullseye. 2 words. That's all it took to detonate the fandom. Social media exploded. Bruno rose. A stage. Fans across different continents started debating what they had just witnessed. Was this playful teasing? The start of something bigger? Or a soft reveal of a relationship or musical collaboration already in motion? Adding to the frenzy, Rosé's natural ease with Bruno didn't go unnoticed. She looked completely at home beside him, smiling, leaning in, walking side by side off stage like it was something they'd done before. It didn't scream first-time collab. It felt familiar, comfortable. And then, out of nowhere, another name joined the narrative. G-Dragon. He liked Rosé's post from the concert. Just a simple tab, but it was enough. For fans who followed the speculations around GD and Rosé for years, this wasn't just an innocent scroll. It raised questions. Was this quiet support, or a subtle reaction to seeing Rosé shine with someone else? The triangle Bruno, Rosé, GD took over K-pop Twitter. Threads speculated on past interactions, old interviews, even past outfits, trying to decode whether a storm had just started or already passed. But what if the real twist wasn't about romance? What if the real story was strategic? Almost immediately after the duet, rumors started circulating. Not from tabloids, but from within the industry. Insiders whispered that this wasn't just a spontaneous musical moment. It had been orchestrated, choreographed, perfectly timed. Sources pointed to private meetings between Rosé's agency and Bruno's management team. Unmarked vans pulling into secluded recording studios. Confidential emails exchanged months in advance, and suddenly it all made sense. This wasn't a coincidence, it was a master plan. Weeks before the LA show, fans had noticed a cryptic Instagram story on Rosé's feed. A simple heart emoji and a music note. No tags, no caption. Back then, it felt like aesthetic noise. But now, with everything that's happened, that post has become ground zero for theories. Some fans are even combing through her old stories to see what else they missed. Once the news broke, major media didn't hold back. Billboard, Rolling Stone, NME, all ran headlines within hours. One wrote, "Rosé and Bruno Mars deliver the duet we never saw coming." Another called it the crossover performance that might just change pop music. As fan edits looped endlessly across TikTok and YouTube, an anonymous quote from a high-level producer began to circulate. Shared in Variety, the producer said, "This wasn't just chemistry. This was strategy. And if you told me a Rosé x Bruno album is already in post-production, I'd believe you." Not a single track, not a feature, a full-length album. And then came a revelation from years ago, an old 2018 interview where a younger, wide-eyed Rosé shyly admitted, "One of my biggest dreams is to perform with Bruno Mars." That dream didn't just come true, it exploded into something global, something unforgettable. Now, as the world tries to catch its breath from that LA night, insiders claim the gears are already turning. Studio time has been booked, track lists drafted, producers reaching out. A musical alliance may already be in motion, one that blends K-pop's emotional depth with R&B's timeless groove. Meanwhile, Rosé's presence is expanding faster than ever. Her performance with Bruno didn't just win over fans, it cracked open a new market. Western R&B producers are reportedly courting her for a solo studio album, with Bruno attached as a creative lead. And it's not just the music industry noticing. On TikTok, Rosé is becoming a household name among users who'd never listened to K-pop before. Her voice, her stage presence, her emotional pull, it's bringing in people who never cared before. Now they do, deeply. The fan response hasn't been passive, it's participatory. Memes, fancoms, digital fan art, even romantic comic panels. The name Brunet has gone viral. And for many, this wasn't just a performance, it was a rebirth. Rosé, who once trained quietly at YG, then became a global solo star, is now stepping into something even bigger. A cultural symbol. A cross-genre icon. And Bruno, for all his past glories, trended in over a dozen countries that night just for walking on stage. Some called it a reminder of his power. Others called it a renaissance. Together they didn't just sing, they redefined what a musical collaboration could look like. K-pop meets R&B, a Korean-Australian idol and an American hitmaker bridging the distance between genres, fan bases, even languages. But the most powerful moment wasn't loud. It wasn't part of the official set list. It happened backstage in a grainy clip caught by a fan. Rosé bows deeply to Bruno. Then, she places a hand over her heart. A gesture so sincere it silenced even the loudest theories. It was a moment of gratitude, of genuine connection. And just when you thought that was the final scene, there was one more piece fans nearly missed. One single frame. A brief, blurry moment caught at the edge of a backstage curtain. No words. Just Rosé reaching out. Maybe a hug, maybe something else. And Bruno leaning in. It's enough to keep the speculation burning. Rosé didn't need this moment to prove her artistry. Her legacy is already secured. But this performance, this alignment of stars, felt different. It was a reminder that sometimes, in a world full of noise, real connection cuts through. This wasn't just a concert, it was a pivot. A possible start to something we haven't seen before. And now, fans around the world are holding their breath. Will we get a studio version? Will they show up at award shows together? Or was this a lightning strike? Brilliant, unexpected, and never to be repeated. Whatever the answer is, one thing is certain. We didn't just witness music. We witnessed history. And if this was the beginning, then what comes next could change everything. Tell us what you think. Is it just fan service, or are we watching a new era unfold? Drop your theories in the comments. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Because here we don't just talk about headlines, we uncover the stories behind the moment. Don't miss what's coming next.